La Luna. I've just been thinking about self-reflection. I am, firstly, far from perfect. And secondly, I try to do everything from a place of love and I don't have bad intentions. Also, I like to stand in my power and not be pushed around because I know what works for me in life now. So finding that balance between being soft and strong, because you can be soft and loving and yet strong and boundaried, like a cat. Cats are very boundaried, but also can be super soft and loving. But when they've had enough. If I do something and I upset somebody, I'd like that person to tell me, like, oh, that thing that you just did really upset me. And we can talk about it. And like all of my friends, all of my friends now, I think we have really honest relationships. Like we talk about stuff and hear each other, like we hold space for each other and we listen. And now I feel like that's how I want all my interactions to be. And that's not how they always are, because I'm not in control of that. I spend, I think, maybe too much time sometimes reflecting on things. And I wonder, does everybody reflect? Why was I angry? What was it about that situation that triggered something inside me that I need to heal? Or do they just stay angry? You want to hear someone else's opinion about you, even if it's not what you want it to be. I really wanted to be on my own today, just to spend some time alone. So here I am, El Cotillo, my favourite place on the island. There's something about walking barefoot on volcanic rock that soothes my soul next to the ocean. I don't know if anyone else finds this, learning a new language, but sometimes I kind of run out of words. Like my brain feels exhausted when I spend the day trying to speak Spanish. I just sort of run out of energy for talking, other than to myself apparently. And sometimes I just really want to be on my own. I crave that solitude, maybe the hermit mode. I just wanted to be quiet today. And quiet contemplation and solitude. I just discovered that Fuerteventura is the oldest Canary island and has lots of fossils on the beaches, and so it's really important for understanding the history. I'm just doing this little walking trail. People here consider stuff that washes up on the beach to be gifts from the sea, called hayos, Jallos. I might be pronouncing it incorrectly, hayos. For a long time, wood that washed up on the beaches was the main source of wood. And people used to use these gifts from the ocean to build their houses. So I'm looking for some hayos. And there are lots of them dotted around all over the beaches. You have to be a little bit careful when you're hunting around for one, because quite often there's naked people inside. I sometimes find it really overwhelming to be around lots of people. I don't want to be in a town. I just wanted to be by the ocean and walk and think. I listened to something last night that was talking about, especially with the full moon, to kind of leave the old you behind and step into the new version of you, which for me is doing what makes me feel good and not worrying about what people think, in terms of I don't have to bend and mould and try and be this fun person to be around and do all the things that other people want me to do in order to be liked. Time is one thing we can't get back. And I think I said this before, like the most valuable things to me at the moment are my time and my energy. So stepping into what's right for you and what feels good isn't always easy. This is what I'm learning. I feel so uncomfortable sometimes with some of the decisions and that kind of feeling of letting people down, and they're going to think I'm boring, they're not going to like me because I don't want to do that thing. But no one knows how long we have. No one knows anything. No one knows the future. like I gave so much of my time away in the past. Not just to people, but like to my job and other things. And yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. So I asked the lifeguard what time high tide is, and he said there's another 2 hours yet, the whole beach will be underwater. Really, 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 really wanted to go for a swim, but because of the full moon, it's a super high tide, and the ocean's looking a bit fierce, and I have a huge respect for the ocean. So I'm just looking at its beauty at the moment, the power and the beauty and the grace of water. It's soft and yielding and yet wears away rock. Can totally destroy things and then disappears without a trace. Comes in, like washes everything away, and then it goes again. Creates complete havoc and chaos, and then goes again. The other day I said something about being soft and strong like a cat. But maybe water would have been a better analogy. You know, when in the sea and the lifeguard is whistling at someone before the tide's just turning. So last night when I was lying in bed falling asleep, I had these crazy visions. Not exactly the same as, but really similar to ayahuasca. I saw all these incredible shapes, like sacred sacred geometry, amazing shapes. And I just felt this something shift inside me, and I felt like I'd shifted to a different timeline. The thing about being on the beach, where all the 4 elements meet, earth, air, fire and water, which I think is why it's such an amazing place to be, so grounding, because you're in connection with the earth, the water, the fire and the sky and the air. Face the other way, the ocean is behind me, and there's less wind. Where was I? I listened to this thing and it was talking about leaving past versions of yourself behind, like letting go of what no longer serves you, and for me that's been people pleasing, and I kind of thought I was done with that. I just feel so content on my own now, and I worry sometimes that maybe that I'm just going to spend my whole life alone for that reason, but I know I won't, because I have amazing friends. But I just really crave solitude. It's my thinking time. I need to process, and I think I've said this before, I'm a massive introvert, which people find hard to believe sometimes, but I just really need this time, this space, just to be without not performing. Not that I feel like I perform anymore, but not having to talk, not having to think, not having to try and speak Spanish, just to potter around. So I've taken myself off for the day, taken a big breath in, and decided that, if everyone decides that they hate me because I want to spend a day on my own, then that's something that I'll have to deal with. But I just needed this time. And I'm proud of myself. The full moon, what can you let go of?